Hi, I'm just popping in real quick. I want to talk about something that many parents share frustration over, and that is the challenge of getting their children to listen, right? So, listening, the definition of listening is simply paying close attention, being mindful, and comprehending sound. So, what parents really are complaining about when they say their children don't listen is that their children are not doing what they're told to do. So it's really a matter of compliance, right? But in this video, I'm going to simply say listen, because that's what most parents say. My child won't listen to me. My child won't listen to me. So when I'm speaking in this video, I'm referring to the act of mindfully hearing, comprehending, and responding to the parent's request. So today I'm going to share 3 tips on how to get your kids to listen. Now, if you have a core mission on how you're parenting, one of the core aspects that I'll find in people's mission statements is that they want to give proper guidance to their children, right? We want our children to grow into their fullness. And we know how important it is for listening, because how can we guide our children and to develop them of who we want them to be if they're not listening to us at even the most mundane things we ask of them? So let's just stop right there, full stop. Notice I said if they're not listening to us on who we want them to be, right? Is that what your mission statement is about? Is it about how you can get your child to do or become who you want them to be, right? If that is your mission statement, then that's going to be your charge, right? But there's a difference, and we have to be mindful, because if, as many people that I know that I work with, are if you're looking to guide your child to be who they came here to be in their purpose in their life, then you're going to have to take some time to listen to them, right? You're going to need to know more about what they want, who they are, what it is that's important to them, what motivates them, what's their aspirations, what are their fears, right? So tip number 1 is listen. Listen to your child. So how do you get your child to listen to you? Listen to them. Get to know them as people, not just as a son or a daughter. They are more than just that aspect of their identity. Genuinely listen to them. And then when you do that, not only are you going to learn more about them and who they are at their core, but you'll also learn what is getting in the way of them not listening to you. So you'll be able to find out what's some deeper meaning behind them not listening, right? What are some of these barriers? You're going to want to understand them, and you're only going to be able to figure it out by listening to them. Also, when you listen to them, that provides them with a model, right? This actual skill of active listening is something that you can model for your children by doing it, right? We always say, be the change you want to see. So with you actively listening to your children, they can model that behavior, okay? Tip number 2, tell them what you want done as opposed to asking if they want to do it or not. This is just about communication and being more direct. Parents will sometimes say, Jessica, can you please come pick up these toys? Or something like that, right? And when it's phrased that way, we're pretty much saying you have an option. Can you pick up these toys? No, I can't. Will you pick up these toys? No, I won't. I mean, a child, likely would not say no that way, but they may just they may not respond the way you want them to respond. So this can be rephrased, and we can say something like, Jessica, I need you to pick up your toys now. Or, Jessica, it's 7:00, and that means it's time to pick up your toys now, and you have 10 minutes to get them all up. You would adjust this, of course, based on their age and their developmental level. And you would also want to perhaps, break it down even further and even say, I need you to pick up all of your dolls and put them in this bin, and all of your Legos and put them in this tray. So you may even want to get more specific and break it down in smaller parts for them. Again, depending on age, understanding, because listening is also about understanding. So if you're not clear in your communication, then listening goes out the window. Okay? But you really want to be sure that you are pretty much directing them on what you want. Because it's so funny to me how parents will be upset because their child, didn't follow through with the request. But when I hear the request, I'm like, you literally just gave that child a choice. You know that, right? And there's nothing wrong with giving a choice. I sometimes will phrase my request in choices, right? Because it gives the child a sense of empowerment, and it gives the child a a sense of identity. It really gives them choice is important, right? Giving them choice and voice is so important for a child. So sometimes, I may have to say, you can put your toys away first, or you can put your toys away, or you can put the laundry away. Which one do you want to do first? Just give them some type of forced choice, works wonders. And sometimes I actually give them a request, and I wouldn't even and I'm willing to accept no as the answer, right? So I'll say, "Can you please go get the remote for me?" "No, mom, I really don't feel like it. I'm laying down and I'm tired." "No problem." Right? Why should you have to blindly follow my request? I want them to always remember that they have autonomy and the ability to trust their bodies, trust their systems, and be able to say, "No, I'm not, I don't want to do it." And that's okay too, right? So this leads to our last tip. The last tip is about trust. What can you do to get your child to listen and follow through with the request? Build trust. Trust, that's really the main core in many listening challenges. Does your child trust you? Right? If you don't trust someone, you're less likely to listen to them. Would you listen to someone who you don't trust? If you're going to work every day and by the time the end of the week comes, you don't get paid and there's no paycheck, are you going to trust them? Are you going to trust, you're going to lose trust. And are you going to now listen when your boss says, "I need you to do X, Y, and Z," when you haven't gotten paid? Right? Or you can't trust to know if you're going to be able to do your job. Do you have the tools to do your job? So trust is important for you to be able to listen. Think about your relationships. If there's no trust, it's hard for the other partner, for the person in the relationship to listen and to what their partner is asking of them, because the trust is missing, right? So build trust in your parent-child relationship. Just because you're their parent does not mean they trust you. It's something that may need to be worked on, and it's okay, right? As long as you are aware and you work on it, that's great. But build the trust. So if you find that child is not listening, start to look and say, is there a trust issue here that I need to work on? Okay. So how would you build trust? So many different ways, but real quickly, do what you say you're going to do. If you make promises to your child, keep them. If you can't keep them, explain and talk to them and express what's happening. Right? Also, allow your child to express themselves. Allow them to express themselves and be supportive of those expressions. And as I mentioned, listen to them. Listen deeply and genuinely. That really, really fosters trust. And lastly, you want to provide a structured and consistent environment and setting where your child knows what to expect, knows what's coming, build a sense of predictability. That helps foster trust. In children, as they're developing, things can sometimes feel chaotic. And if you give with the structure and the routine, that helps them feel centered and they have the ability to trust. Right? Again, build trust. A child that trusts you is more likely to want to follow your guidance. Right? Now, I know somebody is thinking, and I've heard it many times before, they're like, Dr. Ray, yeah, that's cool and everything, but I'm the parent. She's the child. She just needs to listen and she needs to stay in her place. Right? And look, I'm the first one to say, if that's how you're giving it up, then that's cool. I mean, if that's your mission statement, like if your goal for your child is to just kind of follow orders and be kind of blind obedience, right? That's just not something that I'm interested in, right? I'm interested. My mission for my parenting is clear. I'm interested in raising critical thinkers, free thinkers, and People that and children that follow their intuition and that know their power and that grow into their fullness. Like, so my mission statement is not in alignment with, do as I say because I told you so. It's not in alignment. So I can't go that route, right? So you have to know what it is, what route you're trying to go, because I know where I'm trying to go. And that's the reason why, I work on developing, these ideas and these concepts on how to help a child, how to help families and how to help the parent child relationship, because, we all want the same thing for the most part. And we just need to really get the tools to go there, to get there. So I hope these tips were helpful. And as always, send me any messages, leave me any comments. And toodles. See you next time.